Hi, it's Father Norm again, asking you this question. What's your energy level like on a day-to-day basis? Being a 10 would be being vital and energized and all engaged in life, hopefully most of the day. On the other hand, being a 1 or a 2 or a 3, maybe kind of sluggish, maybe how will I get through another day? How's your day? Well, it's okay. It's better to than not doing anything, and at least I get paid. And another day, well, they're just all alike, but I get through them. I manage to get by. Yeah, where are you in that? Maybe somewhere in between, that vital, energized, or that person who, oh, what another day. And maybe part of it depends upon the day, or it depends upon what you're doing, how vital you feel. I think everybody wants to feel overall vital. There's a lot of medication out there and vitamins that tell you, and I'm sure some of them have great value, how to be more vital and energized and get through your day, whether you're a young man or you're 70 something. And people often go for that. And again, I'm sure some of those can be very valuable. On the other hand, maybe it's another way we need to look at ourselves and people around us to see where do a lot of people draw energy? Is it simply that they don't have a whole lot of physical stuff they have to do all day or even mental stuff, and so they're more energized? Or anyway, what gives? Well, here, I want to use two examples to point this out. One fella I know is a doctor, and as a doctor has been very busy, and in fact even busier now because of all the pandemic. And he obviously is drained and has a sense of, oh, how are we going to get through this? Legitimate concerns. There's lots of people on the front line who have those legitimate concerns. And getting that proper rest and proper sleep and proper diet and all of that is important. Again, he tends to do that, but there was something he discovered that he shared with me. And he mentioned that in his work in the hospital, being very busy, by the end of the day, he would start getting negative feelings, resentful feelings because of what he had to endure. And with that, though, he was looking around and trying to see somebody else in the hospital in his particular department and seeing, is there somebody who maybe is doing all this stuff but isn't so worn down by it? Because this fellow wasn't that old either. He was only probably around 40 or so. And so he did see somebody there that was almost like a mentor to him. Actually, it was a woman doctor who was probably in early 60s. And he mentioned when we talked, yeah, this gal, she keeps going. She's got that energy. What are the reasons? And what this fellow discovered, he asked her, he said, yeah, what are you on? Or how do you stay so up? And this woman mentioned that for a long time, because the medical field is so difficult, that she often was drained, came home and kind of negative at the pace of the workload and also at all the paperwork she had to do. But she said that one day, whether it was at a retreat or maybe a message that she heard, she realized that she had lost her sense of purpose. Why? She went to medical school as a woman too, to mentor other young women. And she got into the day-to-day stuff and had gotten to a point where it was a drag. She was counting the years till retirement, and what was wrong with her? And she shared with this friend of mine that she actually made a retreat at her parish. And at that retreat, they talked about the importance of purpose. When people have a strong sense of purpose in what they do they still get tired? Yes. But if they see its value, if they recognize it matters, then that can certainly give them a vital spirit. And they may be tired at the end of the day, but at times there can be a difference between being stressfully tired and being tired and, hey, I put in a full day, was able to touch a lot of lives, do some good, and yeah, I'm a little tired today, but I'll get a rest, relax a little bit, maybe exercise a little bit, and jump in tomorrow to another good day to make a difference. And so the doctor talking to me said that that woman really helped him take a deeper look, not just at what he was doing, but his own mindset, his own attitude, why he was doing what he was doing. He had definitely lost his sense of purpose. He was willing at that time even to keep going because, he made good money. But he realized that he'd lost that sense of caring for the patient. He'd gotten to the point, partly in his busyness, that every patient was just like another work effort and went through the motions and did what he had to do, but certainly wasn't as warm or positive or uplifting for the patient because he didn't feel that way himself. He mentioned that this woman reminded him when he first went in to become a doctor that he had a strong sense of purpose. He went to medical school because he wanted to be a source of healing. He wanted to lift up people's lives, whatever they were going through. And he knew that that healing was not only physical, but mental, emotional, and spiritual. And if he could offer that in some way, and he did. But over time, so much going on, even the added stresses of today, which are really understandable, he'd lost any sense of purpose and was just trying to get through another day. But talking to this woman, seeing the difference it made in her, he began to look at, yeah, why did I get into this in the first place? What was I drawn to? What was my attitude when I was first working? And it was very busy. And what helped me through? And as he took that, I would call, because he comes out of a faith base, that a spiritual reflection to look back and see, yes, when he saw the people, each person was unique and he was present in the moment to that person. And he was focused on whatever he could do, even if he saw that person for 10 minutes or 25 minutes or an hour, that be there for the person, and hopefully their life may be a little bit better because of the way he responded to them. Not only because he gave them good news if there was a health report that was good, but also because he was a presence to them, and they knew that he genuinely cared and wasn't just going through the motions. So his life was turned around, and that was great to see. And again, that whole notion of how vital, how energetic, he is much more energetic now as he shared with me, because not because of the vitamins, although all those things help, but because he went into each day and came back to a faith basis. His faith, because he really believed from years ago that God had called him to be that doctor, that God had let him see, hey, I see what you can do for others, and I'm calling you to do it. And he got back to that faith dimension too, that the Lord would help him through each day. And that the other thing is, he didn't have to be God for his patients, answer everything, and make everything perfect. None of us can. But he could simply be a servant of God's goodness and love and patience and guidance and spiritual and emotional healing, which he is now. So, every one of us, take another look. What's our energy level? Lots of factors. As I said, they could be medical, they can be emotional, and they also may be spiritual to come back to a sense of purpose. One final example of that, I may have shared that with some of you. There was a woman I knew when I was a pastor at St. Martha. Her name was Esther Potter. And I saw her when she was in her 90s, and she had a strong sense of purpose, what she could do to reach out and help other people. And then at the age of 100, she fell and she couldn't go out and she couldn't do as much. But, and maybe I've shared this before, but she said to me, I said, gee, you've lost your sense of purpose. You used to go out and help people, even to the nursing homes. And she thought of those people as her kids, even though she was older than most of them. She couldn't do that anymore. So I said, how you doing, Esther? And she said, I still have a sense of purpose. And I asked, well, what is it? She said, well, Father, you should know my purpose is to each day pray for people I read about in the newspaper, I see on television that are hurting in some way. I believe my prayers for them are significant and make some sort of difference. And I remember her saying to me, Father, don't you think that's a very purposeful, worthwhile thing, even while I lie on this bed? And I said, yes, yes, Esther, you've inspired me. Who are those people in your life who have inspired you? And how can you be a source of inspiring others, especially in the midst of all this that is demanding and is tiring, everything we see? But whatever the situation is, whether it's medical, whether it's the whole racial thing, whether it's economic, how can we each ourselves touch lives every day and maybe make it a little bit better for them because of the way we view them and how we show a certain spirit and goodness that maybe they can tap into in their own lives. Thanks for listening to this. I'm sure this day and all the days coming up, you'll find out God has a purpose for you right in front of you to make a difference in someone's life, to lift them up when they feel down. We'll be seeing you in another week. I'm trying to do these on a weekly basis. Take care. Be purposeful. Be vital.